of cost?
All we ask of the parents is $1,000 contribution.
Just $1,000.
Just $1,000. That's just to cover because the kids now they come. They need Pampers. They need little things. They might come without the right kind of clothing. They need that change of clothing. So we just ask them for $1,000 a month towards those kinds of incidentals.
Okay.
That's all we ask.
Okay. Well, continue on the daycare.
Yes. So what I was going to say is that the other daycare centers in and around the country will not accept children with disabilities. So our parents found that they could not seek employment because they had a child to look after. When you have a child, by the time the child is 2, you start them at play school. You can go out and look for a job as a mother, father too. Then there's nursery school, but that does not happen with a child with a disability. There's no, the child has to be taken care of all the time.
Right.
So they discussed this when they come for therapy. So we thought we would start a daycare, which we did about, my memory's going, about 6 or so years ago.
Okay.
We started a daycare because in the days when we had the polio center, it was totally residential because the children were coming from all over the country.
Right.
But when we shifted to focus to developmental disabilities, what we found happening was that parents were then abandoning their children at the center, and they were growing up there to be young adults. And we were not, we were not set up.
Right, for that purpose.
When you are a young adult, a teenager, you need a different kind of environment.
Quite true.
And we did not offer that. So we phased.
Right.
Actually, we tried to phase the residents, but we found that we did not have anywhere that a few of them could be transferred.
Quite true.
So we still had the residents. So when we started a daycare, it became useful when parents started saying, but even though we might live in and around Georgetown in the suburbs, it was still quite expensive finding transportation in the morning and in the afternoon.
Quite true.
And children from West Demerara, same thing was happening, So we were able to offer them the accommodation from Monday to Friday. So that's the daycare dormitory services, special ed. We also have what is now really known as the National Orthotic and Prosthetic Appliance Workshop.
Right.
But that used to be just a little shop providing the braces for children with polio. But now the shop offers a service for anyone in the country who needs prosthetics, which is, replacement of parts
of your body,
lower extremity, upper extremity, arms and limbs, what we call artificial legs in the lay parlance. So we do that, and then if you had injuries, you need a back brace, a neck brace, that kind of support, which is the orthotics, and we offer that service to anyone in the country. It is so much cheaper than having to go abroad, which was what would have ensued in the past.
But this they would have to pay for.
Yes. Now the services for the orthotics and prosthetics, there is a user charge. I use that term because it is only the replacement costs for the materials that we use, because most of those materials have to be imported.
Right.
So there's a user charge there, but when you compare, let's say for example, a above-knee prosthesis, we charge about $300,000, which sounds like an enormous sum. But when you convert that to US dollars, it's $1,500. You'd probably pay $15,000 for one of those. I know some people want to go to Trinidad, and they come back and say, but the leg that we paid $80,000 for here, they had to pay an equivalent of 2 or 3 million Ghana dollars.
Imagine that.
Yes.
Imagine that.
So that's, and as part of the service in the appliance workshop, we also fit hearing aids.
Hearing aids. That's
hearing
very
aids.
popular.
Again, yes, very, very important.
Very important.
The underpinning for that was that we wanted to be able to assess children at a very early age with hearing problems, fit them with hearing aids so they can hear and be able to go to school.
Quite true.
But
from
of course,
from
a very young age. So we had to have the clinical service in place. So we import the hearing aids. We have practitioners in the Georgetown Hospital, which provides the clinical service and the diagnostic part, but then they refer them to us for the actual fitting. And that also has a user charge. But again, it's just the cost of the hearing aid and the cost of making the ear molds which go along with the hearing aids.
Right, and which is very cheap,
very
far cheaper than
yes,
if you were to import it or go to any other country and purchase that.
No, our hearing aids.
So many services offered by the Ptolemy Reed Rehabilitation Center. I'm pretty sure our viewers out there who are watching this program grow at IPED you're never aware of the services provided by the Ptolemy Reed Rehabilitation Center. So I want to invite you, if you have relatives or you know someone in your community, your neighborhood, who may need the help of the center, why not come into the center and contact Miss Massey, and she'll be very, very happy to talk to you and to take you through the basis and see what assistance can be rendered to you. And Miss Massey, the center needs a lot of resources.
Absolutely.
A lot of resources. How have you been surviving?
Well, as I said, initially it was set up by the government of Guyana under the Ministry of Health. But in the early 90s, we were delinked. But our main financer is the government of Guyana, Ministry of Health.
Quite true.
We get a subvention from them, but that only covers about 50% of our recurrent costs. In terms of capital and for all the expansion we've done, the management has done that through project proposal submitted to various international and local agencies. But a lot of the resources come from the ordinary citizen.
Ordinary Guyanese.
Yes, ordinary Guyanese who will come into the center and offer their assistance. They bring cash donations, they bring donations in kind.
Very
One
wonderful.
thing that that's really, really good is they offer to provide meals. And almost on a daily basis, someone is coming in to do that. And when we can say, we don't have to...
Stick a pin, Miss Massey. On a daily basis, someone has offered the services of providing daily meals to the children there.
To the children, almost on a daily basis.
That's amazing. That's very commendable. I think we need to acknowledge that contribution.
Well, we do that all the time. Even though we were commissioning our school, when I said the thank you, I said a thank you to all those persons who supported us over the years.
Whose contributions we
would not. No, because definitely. Even though we're getting the money from the government, the subventions, it does not cover. So when someone brings a bag of rice or a bag of sugar, the money that we would have spent on that, we can spend for some other kind of service elsewhere.
Quite true.
So that's how it works.
Okay. And I think maybe your doors are open for more contributions.
Absolutely. You can just come along. As we say, we take cash or kind. We have a list of all the stuff that we need. Things for the classroom, for the dorms. They always need Pampers and baby oil and all that kind of stuff, which is quite costly,
quite expensive,
because we pride ourselves on maintaining the perfect environment, as perfect as we can, as close to perfect as we can, because the environment is important.
Quite true. So, on visiting the center, I get a sense of you all always strive to maintain a high standard. Indeed.
Absolutely.
I get that feeling.
Yes, absolutely.
Always, in terms of hygiene, sanitation. You can see that it's everywhere for you to see.
Yes, so that, those things are very costly. Having to have the cleaning materials and so on every day, it is very costly. So we accept donations. We can give you our address. You can send the checks, through the post. You can come in. And
a point to note to our viewers, the Ptolemy Reed Rehabilitation Center has a website.
Yes, we have a website.
They have a website.
And we're on Facebook.
They're on Facebook.
we have the youngsters who keep us on all the social media.
So all the contact information you need, you can get on the social media, from the social media.
Yes.
One last question. We have about 3 minutes remaining, Miss Massey. Very often people are of the view, and maybe I was of the view too, until I was informed and I get to realize, in the center, we have kids who are disabled, physically challenged. But you all do partake in some activities that really bring the kids out. I know you all have Mashramani, kite flying celebration.
They've gone kite flying today. We try to involve the students. We try to involve our students in all the activities that any other child would be involved in. So today they've gone kite flying, and I think we had a very nice sponsor. I'm not sure if they would be willing for me to say that, so I wouldn't say who they were, but we've got a sponsor who came and they've gone kite flying at the Everest ground.
And we want to thank that sponsor.
And we want to thank you for reminding me that I should thank that sponsor. And in February we always take part in the Mashramani celebrations.
And that would be wonderful.
Yes, we have the Pago celebrations. The students all take part in that. At Christmas they have Christmas parties. Diwali is one of the favorites as well.
Right.
So we have the children involved. They go on tours.
And you know what amazed me, Miss Massey? Your students, I think one of them also participated in the Mashramani Calypso competition. I was fortunate to hear her. You know,
and
that was fantastic.
I think she should have been given better commendation, but of course we're
biased. I don't think she should have been judged, you know, together with other participants.
No. The whole idea is that, you know, where possible, they must be involved in the regular environment.
Okay.
And I think that Candace was good enough to have taken part, which is why we sent her up.
Quite true.
But I thought she did extremely well, and many persons who have heard her calypso agreed with that.
You know, when you had the launching of the special school was earlier this year.
January.
I think she sang a calypso.
She sang the calypso, and she sang it without the background music. But when you hear it with the background music, it was really, really good.
You can't believe that she was, you know, suffering from any disability at all.
No.
Let us talk a bit. We have maybe a minute or two. Any upcoming events that you want to mention about?
Okay, there are a couple of things that quickly spring to mind. We talk about special ed. In addition to the environment, we want to make sure that the service that we're offering to the children is of the best. So we have a consultant sponsored by the Peace Corps who's coming within another few weeks, I would think, to help us to develop the curriculum for the school and to work with our teachers so they can give up their best. Most of the teachers, whilst they're trained, they're not trained in special education because that's not an area that is offered easily here in Guyana. So that's one of the things that that's upcoming. As well, we've got funding from BNTF CDB, so we're going to build a new vocational unit for the young adults, teenagers who do the vocational training, because that's a very important aspect. We try to make our youngsters as independent as possible so that they can either work in the regular employment area, they can be at home maybe and do like kitchen gardens, cooking, or they can just be independent so they can take care of themselves, which releases the caregiver, the parent, the sister, brother, to go out and earn.
And they can be an entrepreneur as well.
Yes. Yes, so we will be coming to you.
Quite true. Yeah, IPED can assist them in funding and becoming an entrepreneur.
Well, what you have not mentioned in there is that you were part of the Tommy Reed Center too. He's been very shy. He hasn't told you that he's a member of the board of management, the board of directors of the Tommy Reed Center. We recruited him some time ago.
Thank you very much.
And I should say, he's been a very, very welcome member and works very hard for us.
Miss Massey, I want to thank you very much for taking time off to be on my program of Grow with IPED. It was indeed a pleasure to have you. You're an institution, in yourself.
Please.
How many years have you been at the Ptolemy Reed Rehab Center?
Well, I've been there for a long time because I first started off as a physiotherapy trainee when I worked at the polio center, and I went abroad and I did my training, and I came back. I worked in the government service, and one of our rotations, so I went back there for a short while, then I left again and I came back and I became the rehabilitation officer. Then I moved up to being the director of rehab services, and when I retired I went back to the center. So I've been around a long time.
You've been around a long time. Like the center is Mrs. Massey's center.
I don't like to hear that because I don't think that it should be one person.
I know.
But I have a very, very good staff who are equally committed to ensuring that the center expands and grows. And as I was saying, I think our board of directors should also be commended because, they keep us on track, as you know.
Okay.
And, so I think we have a very good management team, which is what I think is important for the growth of an organization.
Quite true, and I'm pretty sure our viewers out there, Guyanese out there would join me in congratulating the center for the work it has been doing since 1967. I think it's celebrating its 47th anniversary this year, and we want to congratulate you and to thank you for all the good work that you have been doing and all the good works that you're continuing to do. And we want to invite persons out there. You have kids, you have children, you have members in your community who are physically challenged and need assistance. Well, why not come to Miss Massey and the center, Ptolemy Reed Rehabilitation Center. It was a pleasure indeed to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me here today. And thank you very much on behalf of the staff and the students of the center for all those kind words.
And we wish the center all the best in the future.
Thank you.
And viewers out there, you may be wondering why IPED? Why IPED is featuring the Ptolemy Reed rehabilitation center. But it's very important. As entrepreneur,